a brand new article speculating the chance of Jamal Murray landing in Miami, Tyler Hero landing in Denver, and a bunch of other moving pieces amongst 3 different teams in the NBA. We'll break down this speculation on this episode of Heat Digest, so let's not waste any time and get right to it and break down Jamal Murray to Miami. Now, is this going to happen? No one can say definitively whether or not there is even going to be any movement in this form of trade speculation or this trade talk, if you will. But this article published just a few days ago titled New Blockbuster 3-Team Trade Proposal Sends Jamal Murray to Miami Heat. Nuggets put hopes on Hero. And goes on to say, could the Nuggets decide to trade away their longtime point guard, and could Atlanta derive some benefit from being involved? Written by Rohan Rahman just 2 days ago on September 2nd, 2024. So now let's get to it and break down the actual contents of this article, as he goes on to say the Miami Heat are a team that could be interested in making such a move. It is well known that they were deep in talks to acquire Lillard before he was traded to Milwaukee. They have been looking for a third star to put around Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo for multiple seasons. However, their best trade asset, guard Tyler Hero, has not received the interest they expected. As we know, Tyler Hero has been streaky without a doubt. That's probably the best way to put him. When he's on the floor, he can be a lightning rod for the offensive side of the ball. But then again, when he does make it to the floor, that is when he is healthy, when he can actually participate in the games, in the practice, and be a part of that team. And then obviously he has to be able to knock down those shots, because we've seen at times when he does come back and he's the only form of offense, whether it be due to injuries or just inconsistent play by the rest of the team, he can then try to force things and be the focal point of the offense, and things simply just do not work when Tyler Hero is trying to force up shots against any type of defense for that matter, let alone a very good one. So we move on to the next quote, where it goes on to say the Denver Nuggets are in an interesting situation of their own. After winning the 2023 finals, the Nuggets fell short in the second round of the 2024 playoffs. Point guard Jamal Murray struggled with injuries throughout the season, which undoubtedly played a factor in his up and down playoff run. His effective field goal percentage of 44.8 was the lowest among all postseason players who attempted over 200 shots. He did have several nice games throughout the playoffs, but he did not look like the same player who was a critical part of the Nuggets 2023 title. Now, before we get to the rest of this quote from the article, I will say if you guys did watch this past postseason and you watched any of the Denver Nuggets series, you can tell one thing and one thing explicitly, and that is Jamal Murray not being himself. And it translated without a doubt into Olympic play this past summer. And again, if you did not watch that, go to the highlights, look at the Canada games. You will notice one thing, and one thing in particular. Jamal Murray is not doing a whole lot, and that goes without a doubt. He struggled horrifically during the Olympics. A lot of the times that was the reason that the Canadian national team, was falling short in the games that they were playing. Obviously, they had a close game with Team USA. Jamal Murray, again, did not play all that well, and that was just the start of a slew of bad games for Jamal Murray. It really just went from the NBA playoffs right to the Olympic season. I'm not sure if he's dealing with some minor injury he doesn't want to be vocal about, or what may be going on, but again, he's just in a massive slump as of the way it seems as of now. So we go on to the second part of this quote, and he goes on to say his struggles also continued in the Olympics. It is fair to wonder whether the Nuggets would try to trade Murray to avoid giving him a big contract extension. His injury history and recent struggles have to make the Nuggets at least somewhat hesitant about giving him a new extension. It seems like they have been. Even though Murray was eligible to sign a 4-year, $209 million extension, that offer has not happened yet. Now, obviously, the injury history with Jamal Murray is going to be one of the biggest kickers in all of this, with any transaction going on about Jamal Murray, whether it's a new extension given to him by the Denver Nuggets or if it's some team trying to trade for him. There's going to be a form of hesitancy due to the ACL injuries and the ankle injuries in the past for Jamal Murray. Now, if you guys don't remember, I do have his yearly report here. Obviously, the stats are great. There's no way around it. When Jamal Murray is playing his brand of basketball, the shot is falling for him. He is a problem. He is one of the top guards in the NBA. I'm not saying he's one or two. I'm not saying that. But I am saying when he is on, especially in the playoff time, when he's playing with Jokic and Aaron Gordon and these other established, very good players, he can be the number one option on the offensive end of the ball because of his ability to shoot the basketball at such a high percentage off the dribble, off the catch and shoot. It does not matter whether it's from the mid-range or from behind the three-point line. He is very, very efficient, and he's very, very underrated when things are going right for Jamal Murray. Obviously, that's a big hypothetical, but once again, it is a true statement. If you see this kid, and you watch this kid play, you watch him that 2023 finals run for this Denver Nuggets team, you knew he was one of the best guards in the world. Obviously, he's not one, he's not two. I know I just said that. But again, I don't want you guys to run to the comments and be like, you're crazy, you think Jamal Murray's the best player in the world. It's not what I'm saying. When he's on, in that 2023 season, when he was leading alongside Nikola Jokic, without a doubt, to the NBA Finals, he had multiple game winners. He had multiple clutch shots over the Lakers, whoever it may be, and he was simply undeniable. He was always a constant threat on the offensive end for this Denver Nugget team. And again, he's not a total liability on the defensive end like most guards in this National Basketball Association are. But again, we look at these stats. Obviously, constant progression from Jamal Murray, going from just under 10 points to 17 to 18 to 18 and a half to 21, and then we have a missed year. He did not play the entirety of the 2021-2022 season, obviously, as he tore his ACL, a very scary injury for any type of professional athlete, specifically basketball players, as it is one that has simply ridiculed multiple seasons for many different players over the years of the professional basketball being played. Obviously, it doesn't matter the year, it doesn't matter how good the technology is. It always feels like this injury in professional sports is always going to be a problem, always going to be the snake that's going to bite you. And again, it did get Murray. Hopefully, he has stayed healthy up to this point without any significant injuries. He hasn't missed any significant time. But again, hopefully it stays that way and he can play out the rest of his career without dealing with any more ankle or ACL, MCL, or Achilles, whatever it may be, any of those scary injuries for athletes. Hopefully he can go throughout the rest of his young career without obtaining any of those injuries. So now he has just finished the 2023-2024 season. Again, he did struggle during the season, and it translated into the Olympics that he played immediately following the end of the Denver Nuggets season in this past playoffs. But again, you see a improvement of the points. Obviously, he had the 21-point season, and he was playing pretty well, averaging 4 rebounds and 5 assists per game. He came back the year prior, or the year after, 20 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and in this past year, 21.2 points, 6.5 assists, and 4 rebounds. Overall, a great season from Jamal Murray. Obviously, it didn't end the way he wanted, specifically for himself in the production that he was giving, specifically by himself, not for the team. Obviously, where the team ended up was not great either. But now let's get to the big part of this video, and that is the mock trades that are centered around Jamal Murray, Tyler Hero, in this Miami Heat squad. I will say it is a 3-team trade. Obviously, we see a lot of these mock trades, and a lot of time they are 3-team trades because we have to figure out the contracts. Shout out to Rohan once again for writing this article and getting out a mock trade that seems to work. He claims that it works, but again, it is all for speculation because this is not something that has actually been offered by any of the moving targets or moving pieces in this problem, whether it be the Hawks, the Miami Heat, or the Nuggets, or any of the players associated with those teams. So once again, do not kill me in the comments. I know this is all speculation. Again, it is for fun. I hope you guys enjoy this. But again, the Atlanta Hawks in this 3-team blockbuster trade would get Terry Rozier, Josh Richardson, Nikola Jovic, Peyton Watson, a 2026 second-round pick from the Miami Heat, a 2031 first-round pick, top 5 protected via the Denver Nuggets. For the Miami Heat, they would get Jamal Murray, DeAndre Hunter, Garrison Matthews, and a 2025 first-round pick, protected 1 through 12 via Sacramento. And then for Denver, they would get Tyler Hero, Kobe Buffkin, Cody Zeller, Pella Larson, a 2026 first-round pick, unprotected via the Miami Heat, and a 2031 first-round pick, unprotected via the Miami Heat. Now, a lot of moving parts going on. I know that. I understand there's a lot going on. We're going to break down each team by what the trade package they would be receiving. We'll start with the Atlanta Hawks as they are at the top. Now, I will say first, there's a lot of Miami Heat assets being traded all over the board here. So before I even give you my overall grade for what I think about this entire trade overall, for the Miami Heat specifically, this is crazy. This is absolutely ridiculous. I would not do this trade if I were the Miami Heat. If we could tweak it and move things around a little bit and not give up so many assets, we could possibly have a conversation. But as of right now, there's no there's no way. There's no way. Terry Rozier's gone from Miami. Josh Richardson gone from Miami. Jovic gone from Miami. A 2026 second-round pick gone from Miami. And we're just going to continue to really just count up all the different assets. We continue. A first-round, nope, that was from Sacramento. We're good there. That's what the Miami Heat are acquiring. But for the rest of the Miami Heat assets going elsewhere in this trade, it'd be Tyler Hero, our rookie, Pelle Larsson. And it would also be a 2026 first-round pick and a 2031 first-round pick. That is 8 assets alone from Miami going out to 2 other teams in a trade where we're only getting back. Yes, Jamal Murray is a young, promising player. He's 27 years old. He's probably going to play for at least 5 more years, negating any possible major injuries. And then we get DeAndre Hunter, a young, promising player. But again, is he going to really equal 8 other assets going out elsewhere, whether it be draft picks or actual players that are currently on the roster? Garrison Matthews in a 2025 first-round pick that is going to be pick 1 through 12 via the Sacramento Kings. Yes, there is some value there, but again, there is a lot of assets going elsewhere for this Miami Heat team. Again, 8 different assets, whether they be draft picks or players, significant players at that, going elsewhere in this trade. But again, we would get Jamal Murray and DeAndre Hunter in a 2025 first-round pick between the picks 1 and 12. Again, that's a lot of value, but again, is it worth 8 different sets of assets between players and picks? I will break down for Denver: Tyler Hero, Kobe Buffkin, Cody Zeller, Kobe, and then Cody, Pelle Larsson in a 2026 first-round pick from Miami, and a 2031 first-round pick from Miami. So once again, the Denver Nuggets really just loading up here, not only on draft picks, but again, 4 more players. A lot of them being young, obviously Hero being the oldest, or Zeller being the oldest out of that bunch, but again, being dominantly a younger group going to Denver. What a trade. What an idea. I don't think Miami would ever do this, regardless of whether or not Jamal Murray was coming to Miami in exchange for the surplus of surplus of assets and athletes going elsewhere in this trade. We would be giving up way too much. I don't believe that's something we would do. And again, why would Miami do this deal? Well, when healthy, Murray is a far more dynamic scorer and a better playmaker than Hero. I can't argue that. But again, comes down to health. It's a problem that both Hero and Murray have to deal with. He can also take defensive attention off of Butler and Adebayo, freeing them up to focus on defense. The prospect of a Murray-Adebayo 2-man game is certainly interesting and would instantly become a staple of Miami's offense. I can't argue that, but again, Jamal Murray is not really a home-free defender. He's still going to get targeted, maybe not to the degree of someone like Tyler Hero, but again, he's not Pat Bev. He's not someone who's going to he's not a Kawhi Leonard. He's not a lockdown defender by any means, and again, he's not the biggest statured player, around 6'4", 240, a good size player, but again, he's not going to get the job done as that defensive stopper, and that really just clamps on defense. Staple of Miami's offense. It is also a good insurance plan for Miami in case Butler decides to decline his player option and walk after this season. They also got a talented forward in DeAndre Hunter, who gives them another capable wing in conjunction with Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Duncan Robinson. Furthermore, they also recoup at first-round picks with a good chance of conveying them after sending out 2 first-rounders in this deal. The Heat currently appear to be behind the premier teams of the Eastern Conference, but a lineup of Murray, Butler, Hunter, Jaquez, and Adebayo would certainly be a threat for the conference's top seed. Again, I don't know if that lineup is really in contention for a top seed in the Eastern Conference as currently constructed. As we know, New York got better, Boston got better, Philly got better. Brooklyn is not very good, but again, they might get better in the years to come as they're going to have a lot of cap room in the next 2 to 3 years. It's going to be a madhouse in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be a madhouse over the entirety of the league as there is so much freaking talent everywhere, and I think it's going to play out beautifully. I think it's going to make the league extremely competitive, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. But that will be it for this episode of Heat Digest. That would be a fun little video to bring you guys, break down another mock trade, another speculated trade that would bring a superstar to Miami, blowing up the current Miami Heat team we have constructed. So again, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this speculated trade. I know it's speculation. I'm not calling it a done deal. I'm not even saying it's a possible thing that could be done. It's just fun to bring you guys mock trades, mock breakdowns like that. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.